glass and moonstones. Next to Birdie, Allene felt gaudy and overdrawn, even though Birdie wore the borrowed feathers of an ill-fitting peach silk dress from Allene's own armoire. Allene wished she hadn't painted so much lipstick and rouge on herself. But something had changed about Birdie during her absence from the Cutter house. She'd always been this fairy girl, but now she had a bosom and hips and, oh, that face. She had the sort of beauty that left you bleeding internally after gazing for too long. Throughout the party, Andrew had barely been able to stop staring. "The smelling salts aren't working," Jasper said. He withdrew his fingers from Florence's neck, which was now swollen and purpling under the warm electric lights. "By God, Allene, Florence is most certainly dead." "Of course she is," Allene nearly said, before biting her tongue. "Oh my gosh," Ernie added uselessly. Ernest Fielding was all chubby face and blonde hair, and too much awkward elbow. He was the one who was invited to all the parties, but to whom no one wished to speak. In the last hour, he'd already retold the same joke, laughed the same laugh, and discussed the price of gold bullion twice, as if anyone truly cared. His father was a banker and a bore, and Ernie was dutifully following in his steps. As usual, everyone ignored his exclamation, which came approximately 10 minutes too late. Birdie caught the almost mischievous look in Allene's eyes, and she surreptitiously leaned in, as if keenly remarking, "I know what you are. You and your schemes, always trying to knit us together, always leaving poor Ernie behind and laughing about it, always playing people like they were chess pieces underfoot. Don't think I forget. It's only been 4 years." Meanwhile, Jasper went to speak with Andrew by the enormous fireplace, with its white marble mantel, burdened with a cloche-covered clock and crystal vases stuffed to choking with roses. Dark hair fell roguishly into Jasper's hazel eyes. He wore a proper sack suit in nut brown, but it looked wrinkled next to Andrew's impeccable silk tuxedo. Allene could see the fraying of the trouser cuffs, but Jasper sported a straightness to his spine. Even in the midst of the tragedy, he caught her glance and winked at her in challenge. "Tell me I'm wrinkled, and I'll wrestle you in the mud. Just try me." My, but he'd grown. His shoulders were wider, and he was far taller than before, almost a head taller. Thank goodness he was too young for the draft. Oh, that war. That terrible, bloody war. And yet Jasper had gone through something himself these last 4 years. Hard labor and time away from the Upper East Side had stolen the boyish roundness of his cheeks, replacing them with angles that simply hadn't been there before. Here he was, a man. He'd grown without Allene's permission. She wanted to stamp the floor with her Louis heels. Andrew came to her side. Together, the almost Mr. and Mrs. Biddle. Wonderful. "Darling, you must be so upset," he murmured. "Do you need to retire upstairs? I can explain your absence. It would be most understandable." By all accounts, Andrew was handsome, with that perfectly trimmed chestnut hair slicking with pomade, and his waistcoat shining with a gold fob. And like any gentleman of breeding, he kept his emotions well concealed. He wasn't like Birdie, whose emotions swirled like oil on water in her eyes, or Jasper, who blurted out his feelings with a quick smirk or frown, unable to hide anything. But did Andrew not care that their party was ruined? Or was he thrilled? Perhaps he was waiting for another opportunity for a surreptitious glance at Birdie's breasts. Allene had an unnatural urge to prick him with a brooch pin, just to see if he actually bled. But the Biddles didn't bleed. Like the Fieldings, they were bankers. They bled other people. "I'm fine. I want to make sure my guests are well. Please attend to Father. I'd be so grateful." "Of course." He leaned down to kiss her cheek, and she stiffened so as not to cringe. Unconsciously, she squeezed Birdie's hand,